wife had a wild phase before marriage, and now I feel left out.
To go back in time.
I've been married to my wife for 5 years, together for 8, and we have 2 beautiful children. She's been my first everything, my first girlfriend, my first real relationship, my first in every sense. She was the first person to breastfeed you.
That you can remember, probably.
Hmm.
That you can remember.
I didn't really date in high school or college because, honestly, I didn't take care of myself. I lacked confidence and didn't feel attractive, so I stayed focused on other things.
Like studying the blade.
By the way, this comes from user headspecific 6763. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/okstorytime subreddit. I'm Dakota.
I'm Riley.
And OP says, my wife, on the other hand, had a more typical college experience, quote unquote.
She went to the University of Miami. She went to the University of Arizona.
And technically, that one's not
ASU. My bad.
Yeah.
But they still get after it.
She had a few relationships and her phase, as she was extremely attractive. She even did stuff with 2 guys at the same time.
Uh-oh.
She was upfront about it when we started dating, and it never bothered me, although I tried not to think about it too much. Now, here's the thing. Over the years, she's become quite reserved when it comes to intimacy. She says she had her wild side during college, and now that she's done with that phase, she prefers a more traditional approach to intimacy. She says she's tried everything she wanted to and knows what she enjoys and what she doesn't in the boudoir. And she wants to build intimacy on love, not
wild lust.
And I completely respect that. I'm not trying to do something which doesn't excite her in the bedroom. But lately, I've changed. I'm in the best shape of my life, physically, mentally, and emotionally. Even my family and friends are kind of shocked with how I look. My wife loves the new me and says she finds me more attractive than ever, but to be blunt, I don't care that my wife finds me attractive because I know I look good now. And it's not like her finding me more attractive will change anything in the bedroom department.
So I'm getting Spider-Man when he finds Venom in Spider-Man 3.
Yeah, I'm hearing the music play in my head right now.
Can you hear the music, Robert? Yes, I can.
Tobey Maguire going down the street. Ah, dude.
He's looking at the suit like, whoa.
Yeah, feeling good.
I would say that your wife finding you way more attractive could do something in the bedroom department.
Could spark some more, past things that she did, wanting her to explore more.
I find it concerning, though, that you seem to be like,
He's
maybe
a little cocky with it.
Was your wife partially responsible for you becoming this version of yourself? Like,
has this been your gym fuel recently? I think he wants more action from others. That's what I'm getting. Ugh. Anyways.
My hormones right now are all over the place, and I can't help but feel like I missed my chance to experience that same fun side of life. I never had the exploration, the experimentation, or the freedom. Now that I finally feel great about myself, that door seems closed. I brought it up with my sister, who I'm close with, and she was surprisingly blunt. She said it's unfair that my wife got to have those experiences and now expects me to settle for less than what she once enjoyed. That hit me harder than I expected. But my sister also loves me so much and said some crazy stuff like I deserve to have an experience with at least one other woman in my life, or else I'll keep resenting my wife. Remember, first and only everything.
Dude, after having our special guest from yesterday come through, sounds like you may need to talk to a spicy therapist or a dominatrix. They can maybe guide you through this.
Yeah, I think y'all need guidance to get on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
I love my wife. I don't want to hurt her. I'm not thinking of cheating or anything like that, but I do feel stuck between respecting her boundaries and acknowledging my own desires that never had a chance to exist. Am I wrong for feeling this way? Has anyone else been in this situation? How did you cope? And we have some top comments.
I remember when I was working out a lot, my hormones were up. I was feeling good all the time, mental clarity, and I had a lot of energy. And my other take on this is if you're feeling this way about your wife, you might need to, find a new passion or a new hobby or something. And instead of thinking, oh, my wife doesn't want to do this. Oh, my wife had these experiences. I don't want to do this. And having like start falling in love with something else, so that's not corrupting your mind. Because it sounds like you do have resentment towards your wife. It's like fighting an addiction if someone's like, I'm addicted to pornography, super, super hard. You need to fall in love with, like, I don't know, painting, and then you love to paint so much that you don't even think about that aspect. I'm kind of getting that vibe. I could be wrong, but that's my thought.
It's like, I'm so hot, I want to put myself out there.
It's like, well, you're married.
Yeah.
I don't know. You don't want to put yourself out there because you don't want to cheat, but it's like,
Yeah.
I don't know. You want to feel the validation that you're hot and sought after.
Yeah. Desired, perhaps.
Top comments, RK8814RK says, I would be careful taking your sister's advice about your relationship. The right thing is to have an honest conversation with your wife and be direct. The butt demon replies, this guy's sister hates his wife. Conclusion equal 2290 says, the grass is never greener on the other side. It's just different grass. From someone who is in the spicy hobbied world, get really, really clear on what it is you actually want. Every fantasy sounds great in your imagination, but whatever it is you want to explore, it will not be the same when played out with your wife or any other woman if you break up or whatever. It's a tale as old as time for a married person to have tons of ideas of what leaving their domesticated problems will be like. They think they'll be swimming in kitty or men will be lining up for them, and reality is very, very different. They are often disappointed and wish they could have their marriage and family back. It would be better to talk to your wife, likely in therapy, that you feel like you need to spice things up. You won't get anywhere by just being mad at her. And we have an update. I agree with those comments that it's like clearly your sister has it out for your wife. Maybe she feels like because she was your first everything, you shouldn't have married her and need more experience. I definitely picked up on that vibe.
Agreed. But we got an update.
Me too. Hey, everyone. I posted this last night and went to bed. Woke up a couple hours ago, read through a lot of replies. Thanks for all the honesty. And decided to have a conversation with my wife this morning. My wife and I are usually very honest with each other. I was upfront with her about how I've been feeling, specifically that I haven't been feeling very desired lately. She was surprised at first and even a little shocked because we're usually pretty lovey-dovey with each other. At first, she thought I was joking, but I told her I was serious. She reassured me that she loves me more than she can ever put into words, and that she finds me incredibly attractive. I asked her why I have to initiate intimacy most of the time, and that seemed to strike a chord with her. She got quiet and then told me she would make an effort to initiate more often, and even kissed me then, to show she meant it. She wanted to do it there, but I rejected her and told her I wasn't done. I told her that initiating more was a start, but what I really wanted was way, way, way more than that. I opened up about how she's had the chance to explore her fantasies and experiment in her past, while I never had that chance. I told her about the attention I've been getting from other women recently, like, for example, 3 women at the library I go to regularly who've been very upfront with me, and how I've turned all of them down, but that it still made me think. I told her I don't feel desired at all at home, and in fact, I feel more desired at the library, or park, or even at work when I talk to women. Then I told her directly, I want to seriously spice up our bedroom life. I'm not talking about just small things. I told her I'm in the best shape of my life, and right now I want to feel that kind of quote-unquote
wild lust
that I never got to experience. Not in a reckless way. I just want that passion and fire, at least for the next few years, while I feel this good in my skin.
Okay, does he want another person a part of his spicy life, or does he just want to feel more, I don't know, wild with his wife?
I don't know, man. I think that comment about, like, what do you actually want?
Because this threw me off whenever he mentioned the 3 librarians. It's like, I have options. I could do something.
Yeah, it's like, okay, so does she, I'm sure.
Yeah. Also,
Like,
you're going to look, if you keep up with your appearances, you're going to look good for a while. Like, I know a guy that's like 51, and he looks great because he works out regularly. Like, it's going to keep up with you if you keep up with it.
yeah. To my surprise, my wife was very receptive to what I said. We sat down and talked more openly than we have in a long time. I told her some of the fantasies in my head that I'd like to explore, and she actually listened and took me seriously. Okay.
See? Okay, conversation
Right.
goes a long ways.
Yes, it does. And you can have a lot of conversations to listen to if you head over to iHeartRadio or Spotify or Apple Podcasts and listen to the full episodes with stories just like this one. All you got to do is search OK Storytime, and you've got over 72 days worth of stories to listen to. That's a lot of days.
Really is. Almost 90 days.
Yeah, almost. It's a wonder what communication can do in a relationship. I think you probably could have communicated this a lot earlier.
Oh, absolutely.
Let that be a lesson. Communicate often and early.
This feels good. This feels nice.
Nice.
Feels good. It feels good. Okay. But then something happened that I wasn't expecting. She broke down in tears. She asked if I still found her attractive. And that hurt to hear because of course I do. I hugged her, comforted her, and told her I still find her as beautiful as ever. Yes, she's gone through some body changes since giving birth, but that doesn't change how I feel about her at all. So yeah, that's probably my final update. We still have a lot to talk about, but for the first time in a while, I feel heard and hopeful. Thank you all again for your input. It really gave me the push I needed to be honest with myself and with my wife. Comments. Number 1, I have a feeling this is definitely not over. Comment 2, he'll be back, posting about how he was blindsided by the divorce after things got spicier, i.e. he convinced her she needed to do things she didn't want to do to keep him happy, and she finally left. Remind me, 6 months.
Oh my gosh.
Comment 3, these are the type of posts that I pray are rage bait, but I know all of them can't be. Reply, I've watched a very similar scenario play out with a couple I know. They were each other's first everything. 18 years and 2 kids later, he started getting itchy about everything he missed out on, and they decided to open the marriage. There was at least a year and a half of conversation leading to this point, which is, by the way, not what OP is discussing doing. She now has a local boyfriend, an out-of-town guy, and her husband. I'm not sure what his exact situation is, but from my vantage point, they seem to be living like roommates who occasionally F. I think they are staying married, mostly out of habit. Comment 4, it's pretty effed up to bring up how often other women are hitting on him the first time he bothers to talk to his wife about this. It's not even a subtle way to say that he's going to seek out other women if his wife doesn't comply with his demands, especially when they have 2 children, presumably under 5 years old. Reply says this guy 100% asked his wife if she would have a ménage à trois with him and a random woman who hit on him at the library. Well, that's the end of that story.
Wow, that's wild.
The comments did not like OP. Well, first of all, earlier in the story, you're like, I don't even care that my wife thinks I'm attractive. I know I am. And then later on, you ask her if she still thinks you're attractive. It's like clearly you care, and you also attach her ability to initiate the spicy time with you as a large indicator on whether or not she does find you attractive. Just go to your wife and say, hey,
I want to see what you learned at that sorority.
Oh God.
show me what you learned. Show me.
We got another story coming right up.
We do.
My neighbor used my husband's photos to catfish.
That's not my husband. That's my neighbor.
My 35 male husband and I, 30 female, have been married for 8 years, but separated for the last 14 months. I need help and advice on how to rekindle our relationship. We are currently not on speaking terms, and all of our arrangements go through our lawyers. However, I will have an opportunity over Christmas to clear the air and set things straight, as he will be flying in from Sydney to spend times with the kids. By the way, this comes from Katrina92, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Riley.
I'm Dakota.
And OP says, so what happened? I received a Facebook message in September last year that my husband was talking and exchanging unclothed photos with other women on Tinder. We spoke on the phone for a bit, and the only proof she had was screenshots of their conversations and his profile. Long story short, I downloaded Tinder and found his profile with his location 1 kilometer away. Interesting, isn't he not in the country?
Yeah, well, we know that it's the neighbor.
Not yet. I mean, we do, but
if we didn't have a title for this story, yeah.
That would be odd, getting things from your girlfriend.
I mean, if I saw this, I would immediately be like, is my husband secretly lying to me about not living in the same country as me anymore? Like,
down the block?
Just like, that's a weird move.
I was convinced that he was cheating, and we had a terrible fallout that evening. My family came over to calm the situation, but instead, it escalated, and then my brother one-twoed and grabbed a hold of my husband. The neighbors called the police, and my husband was asked to pack a few things and stay elsewhere for a while. We separated shortly after. He has since moved to Sydney to be closer with his ailing father, but sees our kids for a weekend twice a month. Fast forward to the beginning of November this year. my neighbor showed up on my doorstep to tell me that her husband was catfishing women on dating apps using my husband's photos. Oh,
That's got to be a pretty sinking feeling when you realize, like, oh, did I implode my whole marriage for no reason?
he downloaded these photos from a MacBook that we lent to him during the vid. And some of these photos were immature nature, including photos of me. The police are currently dealing with this. All of this has been relayed to my husband through his lawyer, but his response has been lukewarm. He said we could talk about it over Christmas. I'm so scared that we might be down too far the rabbit hole, and he will likely push for a divorce, even though I know that we love each other deeply. This situation has taken a massive toll on our mental health, finances, and the well-being of our 3 kids. What is the best way to approach him in December and make amends? We have some comments. I'd write all this down. I'd write down all of your feelings down on paper, see how you feel, give him a big welcome. But then it also is 2 things. One, you want to show him how much you love him, but then also you don't want to love bomb him. And it's like it's a weird place to be in.
Yeah, I would say try to go in without expectations.
Okay.
The expectation or the desire of just like wanting it to be fixed will probably set you up for failure because it'll make you desperate.
Yeah.
So instead of going in being like oriented in that way, orient yourself in a way where you have control over everything, being like, I just want to tell him exactly what I'm thinking. And be like, this is exactly how I'm feeling, and this is exactly what I would want to say. And not be like, all right, what is he going to say? How do I plan it? Just be like, this is what happened. I'm sorry, like, misunderstanding. I was hurt from a lie and I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know how to trust, blah, blah, blah. Whatever happened, whatever you feel happened.
Yeah.
Be like, I think it would be good for the kids. I think it'd be good for us. I don't think this has to happen. I'm honestly not qualified to tell you how to get your husband back right now.
Yeah, we're just giving advice and reading stories. We're giving our best advice. We have not been through this before. Jan really says, oh, there's another thought. Perhaps reach out to any and all of his old friends. Make sure they all know the truth. That's a good point. Eddie42 says, OP, try to salvage what you can, but the situation was deeply damaging. I'm not blaming you for leaving when you had what seemed like clear proof of cheating. That's understandable. But the violent, traumatic way it unfolded screwed you both over, thanks to your neighbor and your brother. The old one-twoing someone is never acceptable, even if your husband had actually cheated. Imagine how he feels knowing it was completely unwarranted. Marriage means shared family, and having your family physically do a harmful act to him would make anyone hesitant to reconcile. If you want to rebuild this, everyone needs to be accountable for the mistakes, especially your brother. It's possible, but it will take some serious work and time. Joholification says, apologize to your husband, but don't expect forgiveness. And I think this is just a term of not expecting things. Have low expectations. If any, none. Just apologize, do what you can, and just pray.
Yeah, just
Pray.
get real clear about exactly how you think and feel about it.
Now, let me be clear.
So we have an update 2 months later. I think this is after Thanksgiving or like December.
Post-Christmas.
Yeah, post-conversation. So, unfortunately, after having sat down and discussed things, it was decided that our marriage was beyond repair and that we should go our separate ways. Ugh, sorry, OP. He is currently in therapy and has requested that we have a clean break with no further contact in the future. I intend to respect his wishes and will continue to communicate through his lawyer on matters that concern our kids. I have since cleared the air with our families and friends and still actively working towards repairing his reputation. I would also like to clarify the harmful act and why my parents came over in the first place. The night of the argument, I called my mother to ask if I could drop off our kids and if they could spend the evening there. But she was concerned about my emotional state and asked that I stay put and they would come to fetch the kids instead. They arrived and my brother outed to stay outside while my parents came inside to grab the kids and their bags. At this point, my father asked to talk to my ex and calm the situation. My mom dragged me away to get the kids and their bags ready. My brother was very confused when we came outside and was triggered by my mom saying that my ex might have cheated. My brother reacted the moment my ex walked out and grabbed my arm in a nonviolent way, leading to the 102ing and scuffle on the front lawn. He was remorseful and apologized even before we found out my ex was not to blame. It is a series of unfortunate events that has changed many lives and robbed my family of love and happiness. I don't know, man. Your brother doing that? I don't know. I mean, you can get caught up in the moment sometimes, but yikes. Yikes. It would suck not hearing that, but if I love someone, I'd probably try to hear him out or something. It just doesn't feel like you try to hear your husband out, which is understandable too.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure there were more problems than just this.
You think so?
Well, there had to have been.
Yeah.
It's had to have been a final straw situation.
Mm-hmm.
Or just a culmination of like, no, I don't want this. Because it's like, you see a Tinder profile with me on it a kilometer away, and you think that you just immediately are like, and that is definitive proof. I got to assume when he was confronted about it, he was like, what are you talking about?
It's tough all the way around. I'm just imagining you getting catfished, and it's a combination of your old acting photos and you with really good lighting, but it is clearly looks like you were edited out in the studio.
Yeah, no, I would just be like, I would quite literally rather be dead than use dating apps.
I've now had to focus on my kids, my depression, and coming to terms with a divorce. I will never forget, but hopefully the pain will not be as intense. By the way, you can join us live on the YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, or Twitch every weekday at 3 p.m. PST. Just tap our profile. Any other thoughts, my dude?
Best you can do is just move forward and try to be the good parent for your kids.
Yeah, agreed. Commenter says, you are responsible for all this. Poor guy. Don't act like you are the victim here. Don't say a word to him and watch as he finds a wife more deserving and a family more loving. He deserves that much. Oh my gosh. I don't know about that one. But dude, that's crazy. I'm not going to read those comments. You guys are just going to both have to move on, and that's how this one turned out. It sucks. I'm sorry, OP.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard not to jump to conclusions in that situation, I'm sure.
And the real person to blame here is the neighbor.
Really, it's all online dating's fault.
Yeah. What was he getting out of this? And can we sue him for emotional damage? Can we
think
sue
the
him?
police are involved in this. I truly can't imagine the state you have to be in to have a fake dating profile using other people's pictures and information.
Yeah.
What level of just absolutely lost do you have to be to have to pretend to be someone else, talking to people who were the whole plan is let's meet up.
Yeah.
They're going to meet you and find out you're not that person.
He probably did it to get money out of them, to extort them, stuff like that. It is crazy, the world we live in. But you can make a change by being a good person. And we got another story coming up.
Oh, yeah.
Yay!
I'm getting tired of my husband.
Sounds like you need a break.
Don't we all? This also comes direct from our subreddit.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy. I, 23 female, have been married to my husband, 24 male, for 5 years, and we've been together for 6 in total. We met young and quickly started building a life together, but lately, I've been feeling like I'm drowning in this relationship, and I don't know if I'm being unreasonable or finally waking up.
Uh-oh.
By the way, this comes from user usefulremove6783, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/okstorytime subreddit. I'm Dakota.
I'm Riley.
And OP says, to give you some context, both my husband and I work full-time, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday, and Saturdays from 8 a.m. to noon. I also attend university classes every night from 7 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. It's an exhausting routine, but I've been pushing through. We live with my mother-in-law, his mom, 54 female, just the 3 of us.
Just the 2 of us.
The house is hers. My relationship with her is okay on the surface, but after 5 years of living under her roof, I feel emotionally worn out. Since it's her house, everything has to be done her way. She constantly criticizes the way I clean, so I eventually stopped doing it altogether. She made it clear she'd rather do it herself. However, my husband and I are the ones paying for everything. Water, electricity, internet, groceries, all out of our pocket. She doesn't work, but she owns a property in another city and receives monthly rental income. Even so, every time my husband asks her to contribute to anything, she says she doesn't have money. On top of all that, I'm the one who cooks all the meals, washes all the dishes, and does all the laundry for myself and my husband. It feels like I'm doing everything physically, emotionally, and financially while getting very little support in return.
Oh, OP, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like a lot.
It is crazy over the years how much we've expected our spouses to do. Because used to be, in a traditional sense, it was the husband would go to work and the wife would stay home and prepare the house and take care of the house.
Yeah.
Now it's changed to, one partner maybe going to work full time and then also on top of that, having to take care of the house and the kids.
Yeah.
While the other guy only has to work, or you have to split the load up. And then on that part, even more, it's like, oh, I want to start a business. I want to do it with my wife. Oh, I need a friend. I need to blow off some steam. I'm going to get my wife to do that. It's just, we have a lot of expectations of our spouses.
We used to live in a society where you could thrive off of a single income. We just don't live in that place anymore.
Yeah.
And, regardless of traditional, I think socially, attitudes have changed. It does make sense. It makes sense to have, in a relationship with two people, one person can make all of the money and one person takes care of the house.
Yeah.
Don't even gender it. Like, that just makes sense.
Dude.
But you literally can't do that in the vast majority of cases because in order to survive, y'all both need to have an income.
I would love to be a YouTube dad where my boss girl wife just goes out, takes care of it, and I'm just at home podcasting with my boys, just doing whatever, taking care of the kid. Dude, I could live stream with the kid here.
I don't know.
Come on.
I don't know
tell me a kid can't just
podcasting with the boys counts as being a house husband.
I'm podcasting with the boys right now.
Yeah. All your chores not getting done.
They'll get done.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah, huh?
By who?
With my kid. They can learn to do it.
Put
I
'em
can
to
train
work.
them.
Okay.
They seem it fun. Dad, it's time to play laundry. I love playing laundry.
On a real level, though, I would immediately just express these feelings to your husband in a non-confrontational, non-accusatory way, just in a, this is how I feel.
Yep.
I feel like I'm drowning
I am under the water.
in everything.
Yeah.
I also suffer from anxiety and depression, though I'm currently in therapy and trying hard to manage it. But lately I've noticed that I don't even want to go home anymore. I feel suffocated in that house. On weekends, I often choose to stay at my mom's, dad's, or sister's place, anywhere but home. That's how unbearable things have become. Now, about my husband. I love him, but sometimes I feel completely invisible to him. He does things that genuinely hurt me, and I don't even think he realizes the damage. For example, a while ago, he admitted that he had been having spicy-related conversations with a female friend on a separate social media account.
Brother. Oh my gosh, man. This guy stinks.
I got nothing to say to that. He told her he wanted to have a three-way with me and her, and he only told me this after deleting the entire conversation.
Oh, all right.
That's a great way to establish trust. No, I was talking to this other girl, but it was just about having a three-way, and I deleted the whole conversation, so your feelings can't get hurt from reading it. He said he just wanted to test the waters to see if I'd be open to the idea. Well, that's insane, because that's not something you start talking to a stranger about before you talk to your wife about.
I feel like if you want that to happen, it's multiple conversations with your partner and then a game plan. But it seems like you skipped a lot of steps there.
Many steps were skipped. I felt shocked and disrespected, not because of the suggestion of a three-way, but specifically because he had private, spicy discussions involving me without my knowledge or consent. I've tried to move on from that, but last week something happened that really broke me. On Thursday, my dad suddenly became very sick. He had high blood pressure, was vomiting and sweating cold, potential signs of a heart attack or stroke. He was rushed to the hospital, and I was at work when I got the news. I started crying and panicking and messaged my husband right away, hoping for support. His response was he sent me 2 silly stickers like goofy emojis or GIFs. That's it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Yikes.
you divorced this man.
Dude.
I don't even care. Like, if my dad has a stroke, my dad goes to the hospital, and you send me,
A GIF?
I go, oh, okay. Never talking to you again.
Yeah. Hot take. I feel like men in this world, we need a class on how to be a man, how to be a supportive husband. I'm losing hope.
That's honestly some of the craziest stuff I've read that you say that, and then mid panic attack, he sends you like the crying smiley face like emoji.
Or the
Like,
crazy eyes, like with the tongue out.
Yeah. It's like,
What?
I was shocked. I told him that if that's how he was going to respond, I didn't want to talk to him anymore. He simply replied that he didn't do anything wrong. No apology, no follow-up. He never checked in on me or asked how my dad was doing. Since then, I haven't spoken to him. I feel completely alone. He hasn't reached out or tried to fix things. And I keep asking myself, why am I always the one making the effort? Why am I carrying this entire relationship on my back? I'm seriously considering asking for a break. I just want some time to breathe and figure out if this is the life I want. Do you want a life with a guy who's definitely cheating on you right now, by the way? Do you want a guy who can be so emotionally absent from your life because he's probably still talking to other women that he could do this to you and say he finds nothing wrong with it?
OP, you know the answer. It's a tough solution. You know what you got to do here.
You got to leave this guy.
Yep, just like that. Just Thanos snap.
Part of me feels guilty, like maybe I'm overreacting or giving up too soon. So Reddit, am I wrong for wanting a break? Am I just running away, or is this a sign I've already been carrying too much for too long? There is an edit here. About 2 months ago, I had a serious conversation with my husband about everything. How unhappy I was living in his mother's house, how we have no privacy, and how the constant stress was damaging our relationship. I told him I felt like we were supporting someone who wasn't contributing and that it was making us turn against each other. Unfortunately, nothing changed after that talk. Things have just gotten worse since then.
Goodness gracious.
And there are some comments that I'm sure will be very supportive of you
Yeah, of course.
because you need to leave this guy.
It's going to be a tough one. Tough season. You know what you got to do, girl.
Comments. Number 1, take a break and reevaluate the relationship. If you feel unloved and used, why hang on to it? Life is too short to be miserable. Comment 2, well, the having spicy conversations with other women would be enough to divorce, in my opinion. So with all the other mother-in-law drama, I would say divorce. Comment 3, as someone who started seeing their partner when we were both in high school, there definitely gets to be itchy feet moments, aka running. This doesn't sound like it's about the time or age you got together. This has to do with minimizing valid concerns instead of talking them out for how to address. The coworker situation is straight up wrong. Would trying a weekend at a hotel together help with reconnection? I think you should look for another place to live, whether together or not. OP says, we traveled in December of 2025 to take a vacation. We were away for 15 days. Everything went really well, but when we got back, it felt like it didn't help much, you know? I'm not sure if it's the atmosphere at home that's so heavy that it's affecting us without us even realizing it. And there's an update. I feel like your partner is still talking to other women.
Yeah, that's worse. But another worse thing is he's not supporting you at all.
But and that's, I feel like the two halves of that is that because he's absent in your relationship, it would make sense that he's finding that somewhere else.
Oh, yeah, complete sense, yeah.
Update. Hi again. I'm back with an update, but first I want to answer some questions that came up. Can you move in with your parents? Unfortunately, no. My mother is emotionally unstable, and I think living together would only make things worse. She lives with my stepfather in a one-bedroom house, and on top of that, she and my husband don't get along. My dad lives with his wife and 2 young children, siblings of mine, aged 15 and 13, in a 2-bedroom home. One room for them, the other for the kids, so there is no space for us there. For us, start thinking about you. Can you stay?
What about the kids?
Oh, I just thought she was talking about me and husband.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, don't just abandon the kids.
Dakota says abandoning the children.
Abandon your children. I abandoned my boy.
Yeah, just, I don't know, the wolves will take care of it. I've done it before.
Can you stay in college dorms? No, I'm not in the U.S., and where I live, there are no college dorms, especially not for my small private university. Why did you get married so young? Well, my life has always been a bit chaotic. At 18, I moved out to live with my sister, and soon after, my husband and I got married. Coming from a toxic, unstable family background, I think I saw marriage as a way to create stability. But now I see it also came with emotional baggage I wasn't ready for. I'm bi, but I've always been clear that I'm monogamous. Still, he once had spicy conversations with another woman and even suggested a threesome without ever talking to me first. It feels like he used my spicy proclivity as a justification for his fantasies, but not ours.
Yikes.
He has issue with pornography and says he's trying to get better. How's your dad doing? Thankfully, he's doing better now. He's on medication and being monitored, but honestly, if he had gotten into the hospital any later, he might not have made it. And now here's the update. Last night, I sat down and talked to my husband. I skipped class because this conversation could not wait. We talked for several hours. I was honest and reinforced how emotionally exhausted I feel.
Also, take back the kid thing. I don't think they have kids. I thought they did. I forgot they were this young. Apologies, everyone. Apologies. It's hard to keep up with these stories after a while. Kids, no kids, some kids, one kid, kid on the way. So, yeah, I don't know what she meant by us.
She meant both of them.
Wow.
Moving out of the house.
Ah, dang.
If your partner ever was like, yeah, I've been talking to this other person, but I was only asking them if they wanted to do something with the two of us, and I deleted all of the messages, you go, wow, Richard Nixon, that's pretty convenient, huh? I guess I'll just believe you. No. You go, hey, why don't you go take that person and find another third? Because it's not going to be me. I'm done.
Yep. And I'm now an Alaskan fisherman.
You know how easy it is to not cheat on your partner? It is so easy to not cheat on your partner.
You know how easy it is to break up with someone you don't find interesting anymore and then continue another relationship? It's pretty easy too.
The sad thing is that that's harder than not cheating.
Some people.
They're like, ooh, I can't, so I'll just be completely wrong. Instead of letting someone down, I'll just silently do it behind their backs until they find out, and I'll make everything worse. So, the update. How his actions have been hurting me and made it clear that it is no longer possible for us to keep living with his mother. He listened, we cried, and it seems that finally he understood the seriousness of the situation. He realized that if he doesn't change now, I will change my life, with or without him. We've agreed to urgently look for a place of our own. The rent where we live is extremely high, we're close to international borders, and buying a home isn't an option right now. I gave us a 2 or 3 month deadline to find something. That's the time I'm giving myself. Until then, I'll stay at my sister's place. It's small, and I'll be sleeping on the floor, but honestly, I'd rather do that than stay in a house where I feel like I can't breathe. Yes, I asked for a break. A short one, just enough to clear my head and remind myself that I deserve peace. He was surprised and even desperate, probably because this time I wasn't just threatening, I was leaving, even if temporarily. And by the way, you never have to be without full episodes of stories like this. All you got to do is tune into your favorite podcasting platform and search OK Storytime, and you can listen to the full archive. There's a little bit more story left.
Good move on you. Awesome sister. And OP, I hope you can find a solution here. I think if you hear the crashing of waves on a boat and you see yourself in your dreams kind of in a cold but yet homey boat, you should probably look into Alaskan fishing. I think you might like that. Keep your ears and dreams open to that.
Yeah, an Alaskan crab fisherman.
Yeah, or just a fisherman in general. Because, I mean, they make money, and then you just do that for like 6 months, go back to school. What's 6 months?
What's 6 months on an Alaskan crab boat?
Come on.
So that's where we're at. I don't know how this story ends, but I know it can't go on the way it was. I'm going to use this time to take care of myself. Self-care isn't just about skincare, it's also about caring for your mind and soul. Tomorrow I have an appointment with my therapist, and I plan to open up to her about all of this. I hope to find the peace I need. I'm young, but I've already been through a lot, and I don't want to carry any more unnecessary burdens in my life. And that is the end of that story. And, good luck moving forward. If you guys can work through it, you guys can work through it.
Yeah.
I would be leaving.
Yeah.
But I'm not you. I think having flirtatious, spicy conversations with someone over the phone and then deleting all of them and then telling you what they are is too suspicious for me to look past. I think him reacting the way he did when your father was in the hospital, too much for me to look past. There's a guy, sometimes I watch him for like philosophical stuff, a really good one he had. Sometimes there are things that are done or said that are so venomous, it cannot be undone. It's basically, this is a video about like not talking when you're angry. And so he shakes up 2 sodas and then he opens one right away and it like explodes. And then he talks about it and then he opens up the other one and it doesn't explode. It's basically a warning, like don't talk when you're angry. But it's like, don't talk when you're angry because you can't take certain things back. So this isn't really in the context of not talking when you're angry, but I think the way that he did those things, he cannot take those back.
That makes sense.
If
I like
I
that.
was you, it's already out of the bottle. You can't put it back in the bottle.
Yep. And you got to remember that in this scenario too, there are 2 red code Mountain Dews and you're on a white rug. So you can't clean that up.
You got a code red Mountain Dew. Code red Mountain Dew. I just love me some code red Mountain Dew.
But guys, we got one more story before we close this out. I'm going to find that for us real quick. My husband's parents are overstepping our boundaries and it's straining our relationship.
Tell him to step off.
Backstory. My husband and I have been married for almost 3 years now. His parents have always been very emotional and needy when we were first married. We lived 3 hours away from them, his first time living away from home. And we saw them at least every month. By the way, this comes from Throw Away the In-Laws, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/okstorytime subreddit. I'm Riley.
I'm Dakota.
And OP says, in between seeing them, they would Skype with us a few times a week, an average of an hour conversation each time, as well as call, text, and email.
Seems like a lot.
I finally told my husband that this was too much for me. He agreed, and we cut it back a little. Yeah, we cut it back to 45 minutes each call.
Yeah, exactly.
No, 50.
Incrementally.
Now, since that time, there have been little things here and there where they have clearly gone too far in their involvement. Some things include opening our mail, going through our checkbook. They said they thought it was theirs, and calling our lawyer regarding a situation they thought wasn't being handled well. These are all beside the point, but being shared so you can see they have some problems with respecting our boundaries. Real quick, you know what I want to see here? I want to see my husband do laundry. I want to see him cook a meal. I want to see him change his oil. Can he do that?
Can you change your oil?
Oh, he can't? Oh, it's because his parents did everything for him.
Might just be.
And that means you're now going to have to be the caretaker.
Uh-oh.
You're the new mommy. Guess who's buying groceries and cooking for their child?
Mama, change the oil, Mama.
No, you didn't. There's oil everywhere. How is there oil in the house?
Babe, there's oil everywhere. What do I do?
Oh, so besides that, things were doing all right until we moved 18 hours away in January to attend school. They became increasingly clingy. They came to visit for a week less than a month after we moved and are constantly sending us emails and texts about how sad they are. We Skype often and try to humor them with pep talks, but it's never enough. Just last week, I received a text from my father-in-law that his parental soul needs to be watered. Who's sprinkling the raindrops on that?
I guess the children. The children must...
Feed your parental soul.
My husband receives 2 weeks off per 6-month period. He works 40 hours a week on top of having 15 credit hours, so I really don't see him all that much. Those vacations are very important to us. He has a week off in August and in November. When his parents heard about the November week off, they booked a flight to come and stay with us for 10 days uninvited. They also invited his siblings down. In August, we are going camping with my family. Because I understand that they miss their son, I invited my in-laws as well. Next thing I know, they're inviting their relatives to join and trying to convince my husband just to camp for a few days and then leave early and spend the rest of his time in a different nearby city with them. Who's your keeper, husband? Mommy and daddy?
I mean, it's one thing to be like, we should get the family together. It's another thing to be like, hey, we're hijacking your week off.
Yep. You're going to do this and this.
Yeah, I know you have plans to spend time with your wife. Forget your wife. Come spend time with your family.
It's crazy he has siblings too. This seems like something they do with the only child. But he has other siblings.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like, come up for a weekend, dude.
Yeah.
It's not even... come on.
When I heard about this, I got upset that they would overstep their invitation and try to steal him away from time with me and my family, so I put the kibosh on it and uninvited them. Needless to say, they were not too happy. Today. Dun, 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 dun. I need to watch Law & Order. When's the last time you seen a Law & Order episode?
I don't know. I've been pretty unlawful and unruly. I just want to watch the one with the guy that goes, see.
Yes.
Eh.
This all leads up to today. My husband received an email sent only to him saying that they couldn't wait until November. They miss him so much. So, in 2 weeks, they'll be driving their old beater car. They don't have the money to both fly 18 hours to our place. His mom will be staying 4 days and leaving, but his dad will be staying 10 days, perhaps more, if he can get more time off work. My husband showed me the email and said, "You can't say no. They're coming down, and we will be treating you and your dog's name." I flipped out. I told my husband, at this point, it's not about them visiting or even staying in our small 2-bedroom apartment. It's about the lack of respect that they show for boundaries. My husband is 100% apathetic to it. All he says that my life is too short to make ripples and that we should just enjoy their company. Am I overreacting? We have an update.
I feel like your husband wants to spend time with his family.
Yeah.
And your problem lies with like, well, shouldn't I be able to spend all of that week off with my husband?
Yeah.
Because I feel like I don't see him enough. But you got to figure out how to see each other more when you don't have those weeks off.
Yeah. I think you both are very busy, and to preserve this relationship, something has to give, like either less school, less job, or, sacrifice this time that you have with your husband, knowing that later down the road you'll have more time with him. Hoping. Because I feel like once you get rolling in a busy schedule in a relationship, that's the vibe. That's how it's always going to be.
He's made it clear that his philosophy is life is too short to create this tension with my family over them wanting to see me.
Yeah. So, summary of previous post. Last week, my husband received an email from his dad. The email that my father-in-law and mother-in-law had decided that they were going to come and visit us for 10 days because they couldn't wait any longer to see their son. A direct quote from the email. After stating that they were visiting, is no approvals needed, no denials accepted. I was really...
Okay, now, that bothers me.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff sends me up the wall.
You are just kids. You don't know better. We got it from here.
Because it's like that kind of attitude makes me go, oh, yeah? Watch this.
Yeah.
And they go, where are you? We're in town. I go, that's crazy. I'm not.
Yeah.
Oops.
I was really angry about the situation. I felt like they were overstepping their boundaries, and my husband seemed apathetic. I gave my husband a couple of days to think about what he wanted to do, and gave myself a couple of days to cool down. And then I talked to him again. He actually was pretty receptive, and we had a good conversation. We both agreed that he would talk to his parents and discuss appropriate boundaries. We wouldn't ask them to stay in a hotel because they couldn't afford it, but would tell them that they need to respect our need for privacy and alone time, should we ask. That's happening now. He Skyped with his parents on Saturday, alone because I was out of town. He said that it went well, and they seemed like they understood. After he spoke with them, I sent them both a follow-up text that Saturday night, letting them know that during the 10 days they will be visiting us. 1, we will need to be away for 1 full day, as we had already made plans to celebrate our wedding anniversary. 2, a friend of mine will likely be dropping in from out of town and might be with us for a day or 2. 3, I asked them to leave their handguns behind. This is a personal preference of mine. 6 months ago, they both bought handguns for the first time and have decided they only feel safe when sleeping next to their pew-pews. I do not feel comfortable with that in my house, so I asked that they leave the pew-pews behind. That's wild to me. Sorry. As someone that has grown up around firearms and believes strongly in the Second Amendment, having to sleep next to them all the time? Where do you live?
It feels more like mental illness than anything.
I don't know.
Believing that that's going to keep you safer just because they're like right next to you and you sleep? I don't know.
I don't know.
Some
people have opinions about this, but I'm like, I don't know. I understand wanting to feel safe and having access to it in case you need to do defense, but traveling with it and putting other people at harm, that's...
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think the only way that makes any sense is if you have like one surgically implanted into your skull so that when you wake up and there's an intruder right above you, you can go...
Boom.
But that doesn't work. That doesn't happen. You can't do that.
Yet. I'm working on something.
Unless I can figure something out. I've been working on some.
Honestly, wasn't trying to be antagonistic. I just wanted to be very clear with them and upfront, so there were no surprises when they arrived. I didn't want them to make conflicting plans and end up disappointed. I sent a text because I was out of the country and didn't have access to Wi-Fi and couldn't call. I didn't receive any response from them Saturday or Sunday, unusual because they were always quick at answering. Then yesterday, Monday, my husband texted me tell me that he got a text from them saying that they loved him and missed him, but that they were not going to visit us anymore. No explanation, just that they weren't no longer coming, despite the fact that they booked their vacation time and bought a flight ticket for my mother-in-law's return home. He then asked why, and they said that they would talk to both him and me over Skype. Well, my husband has a super busy week and doesn't have the time to have another lengthy discussion, and they had planned on driving down here June 30th. So I told him I would want to talk with him to try and smooth things over before then, because at the end of the day, it would be nice for him to see them, and I don't want him to miss out on family time because of petty drama that I may or may have not caused. So I texted them immediately, Monday, and told them that I wasn't sure what was going on, but that I would love to talk with them and listen to what they had to say. I told them that I'd be back in the States today, Tuesday, and asked them to let me know a couple of times that might work to Skype. No answer. Instead, my father-in-law texts my husband as a response to my text and tells them that they will not answer any texts and will only communicate via Skype. So I played dumb and sent them another text today saying, I didn't hear back from either of you, so I think my last text probably didn't go through. Husband is busy all week. Do you guys have time to Skype with me today? A few hours later, I get a text from mother-in-law saying they will Skype when my husband is able. I responded saying, I just asked because between both of our schedules, we won't be able to Skype with you until this weekend. And if you cancel your plans because of something I said, I want you to know that I'm available to talk before them. No answer. I know they have checked their phones because they sent my husband a text after that saying they were thinking of him. It's frustrating because this is still boils to the same issue, a huge lack of appropriate communication. The one positive note is that at least my husband and I are on the same page finally. He's really embarrassed by how his parents are acting and has said that unless they have some legitimate reason their car broke down, he has nothing to say to them. By the way, you can always say something to us on your favorite podcast platform. Just search up OK Storytime on iHeartRadio, Spotify, or Apple. And we have plenty of stories for you there. I don't think they like OP.
I don't think so either. And I wouldn't be beating around the bush with like, oh, my text didn't go through. I'd be like, hey, we're all adults here.
Yeah.
I'm the other half of the partnership your son and I share.
Yeah.
If you got something to say about us, you can say it to me.
Right here, to my face. Say it to my face. So, and now it looks like they are no longer coming. I do feel guilty for causing tension between my husband and his parents. Part of me wishes I just kept my mouth shut and just gone with it, and then there would not have been any drama to deal with. Ridiculous, unnecessary drama at that.
Yeah, but it's all coming from them.
Yeah.
They are moving about this like they are in middle school.
Yeah.
Literally, like they're 13 years old.
Take you out of this, what's left, that's the issue. While the other part feels like if I didn't say anything, they would have continued to overstep their boundaries and I would have gone crazy. So as of now, they are not visiting and my husband has no desire to talk with them. And I guess I'll stop asking if they want to talk with me. Yeah, I don't think they like you, but they're not going to tell you that. And that's the end of that story.
I guess they definitely won't tell you that.
They're only going to talk to your husband. And hopefully you guys can have time for yourselves.
When I was siding with them, I didn't imagine they were the most exhausting, annoying people of all time.
Once we got a little bit more context there.
It's like, oh.
Anytime anyone's just like, yeah, and it's not up to you, and no requests accepted, no denials listened to. It's like,
Yeah.
oh,
Oh,
okay.
all right. You stepped up and you put a stop to it. Congrats, OP. And that's the end of that episode. So if you love us, make sure to subscribe.
We love you,
And
and
see you tomorrow.